The next coming holiday we'll be coming back home, which means you will be getting ready for our arrival starting now, right? That means I need you to start cleaning out my bedroom for us to sleep in, as well as buy things that people like us will need during our stay. You have a month left before we're there, so get to it.
Huh? Emmy, it's been such a long time since I last heard from you.
I am not texting with you again right now to reminisce with you about the last time we talked to one another.
So this upcoming holiday you both will be coming back to town? Okay.
That's right, because we've been wanting to come back home to my parents' house for a bit in order to relax. Anyhow, since the two of us elites will be coming all the way back there to be with you, make sure that everything there is ready for me. And I mean ready for me in a way that would match my position. I want the inside of the house to be sparkling clean for me, and for you to have all the cooking be up to par with what I eat on the regular. And I would like for my husband, Reese, to enjoy his time at my parents' house as well. He needs to know that both my parents also mean business, and that they have a lot of money themselves, and are why I turned out so amazing. So make sure you don't do anything that would embarrass my parents or I, and make sure the house is spotless. Understand?
This is going to be my first time seeing the both of you again after such a long time, so I can try my best to make things look the best that I can before you guys arrive. However, you might need to help me with some of the stuff you want, since I'm not sure what all you'd like me to have ready for you here.
What the heck is that emotionless response from you? I will not allow you to make a fool of me when I come home with my husband. Remember that you never have married someone like my little brother. You would have never been allowed access to a family of such wealth. So make sure to follow everything I've asked from you to the letter.
You don't have to talk to me like that. By the way, what has Reese said about all of this? Is he really okay with you having me go through all that work to care for you guys? I remember him not really being the kind of man to care about things like you're asking me to.
I do not care about what Reese has to say regarding this. He happens to be loved by my dad, which means that in order to continue to have my dad loving him, he won't say anything bad about what I've asked. Now shut your mouth and get to work cleaning up the house and preparing all the things that you'll plan to cook for us. And if you even slack off for 1 second while we're there, I'm not sure what'll end up happening to you.
Understood.
I cannot believe this. I told you to get some of the best food together for us for lunch, didn't I? So then, why did you decide to make up something like these chicken tenders and french fries? I have no idea what any of this means to you. What about all of the things I said to you earlier? Did you not understand? That somehow led to you making us such embarrassing food for lunch. Can you not even read and understand the English language, you useless wife? I came all the way back here with my husband, and you've prepared me this crap to eat? Huh. You go and prepare us something only a 5-star hotel would be able to prepare for their guest. You pile of junk.
Is that all you have left to say? If that's all, then today is the last day we'll be meeting with you. I do not allow that kind of selfish behavior in this house and will not be giving you another chance.
What's all this about now? No matter what a little runt like you tries to say to me, it's not going to scare me into respecting you, huh?
It's not Carter you're talking with, but your father. And right now your father is telling you that this whole relationship I've had with you is over now after that outburst.
What? Dad! But isn't this Carter's phone number I'm texting right now?
Carter handed her phone off to me when you first started texting her. She told me she couldn't stand what you were saying to her anymore and asked me to think of some way to deal with you instead. Thank goodness I was near her when this all started, or else she would have had to try and fend for herself again. So this is the way you've been talking to my Carter this whole time then, huh? Like a complete jackass who thinks the whole world gets to revolve around her?
It's not like I've been picking on her or anything like that, Dad. I'm not some kid anymore, and neither is she. We both happen to be adults now, although I've actually made a name for myself, and I'm making my own money. Now, what's all of this about? Why did you just say today would be my last time seeing you all? Dad, we're family, aren't we? What do you think you're talking about right now?
I'm saying that we're all cutting ties to you.
Dad, are you trying to play around with me? Because if you are, it's not very funny anymore. Or could you just be a little drunk right now is all?
I knew things were like this with you. Even as your own father is telling you the outcome of your bad behavior, you're trying to pass it all off as a joke and not take responsibility for your actions.
Wait. Why are you taking her side in all of this, Dad?
Do you really have zero clue as to what your sister-in-law had to go through in order to make that dish for you? What she made for you was something that this whole family used to eat a lot in the past, when we weren't as affluent as we are now. You understand that, right? She knew that you'd be coming back home after being away from us for so long and thought that she'd make a dish from our past so that we could all sit back and bond over it again. Yet you, of all people...
Something like chicken tenders and fries is such poor garbage that I just couldn't be asked.
I understand just the kind of person you are now. Don't you ever talk to any one of us again, and that means Carter especially.
Huh? You really are trying to mess around with me now, aren't you, Dad? Well, screw you too.
Carter, I'm so sorry about what happened today.
What happened is nothing you should be apologizing to me for, Hank.
But that thing happens to be my daughter, which means I have to take responsibility for the way it acts. And for that, I'm so very sorry.
I like to believe that both you and your wife did what you could to raise her the right way. Just take a look at someone like Eden, for example. He turned out the perfect young man, all because of you and your wife's parenting.
You're right. Someone like Eden did turn out the way we wanted him to, but when it comes to my daughter, Emmy, I never expected her to change so drastically from when we had little money to where we're at now. When my company ended up turning up some major profit and we were able to stop worrying as much about money, she really did a 180. She's even begun to cause problems for my company and me in the workplace. My head really hurts now because of her. And no matter how many times I try and discipline her, she never ever listens.
I've heard about some of this stuff from Eden himself. At some point, Emmy started to only care about things like money and her image to the rest of the world. You, your wife, and your son were all okay with the person I am when I first came into your family. You never had any bias towards me. However, when it comes to Emmy...
As of right now, Eden isn't around, so in his absence, I will do everything in my power to make sure that you're okay and protected. If that brat does anything else to you, you come to me and let me know of it right away. Both my wife and I will do what we can to get rid of her. And that's because we are your family now and your ally.
Thank you so much for saying that to me. Knowing that you both have my back makes me feel a lot stronger.
Carter!
What is it?
So today it's not my dad talking to me using your phone, right?
Yesterday, I didn't have it in me to respond to you anymore. Anyway, didn't your father tell you not to talk to any of us anymore? Especially me, after what happened?
I don't care about what he said to me. I don't care at all about that. The fact that you started to even show my dad all those messages I sent was very unfair of you. And that's the only reason he ever got involved in all of this.
Unfair of me? So you wanted me to just sit there and take that crap from you yesterday?
A friend like you is nothing more than a servant to me. That means no matter what you're told, you do not fight back at me.
I married your little brother and became a part of this family, Emmy. What makes you think you can say such heartless things about your sister-in-law?
I have never once thought of you being as part of my family ever since you married Eden. So would you stop bringing up such gut-wrenching things like a runt being a part of my family? It's absolutely disgusting.
Would you stop acting like an overgrown child, please? What did I ever do to you that's made you treat me like this? I heard from your parents that you all used to eat chicken tenders and french fries a lot when you were all younger, and that it was like a classic to you all. So I thought that by making it for your husband and you when you came back, it would bring back fond memories from the past. Also, chicken tenders happen to be one of Eden's favorite foods. Yet, for some reason, you think you have the right to say such terrible things about me now?
The fact that you cooked up some chicken tenders and fries for us to eat shows me just how much of a lowlife you really are. And what was that? One of Eden's favorite foods is chicken tenders? So that's why he was able to marry a runt like you.
So now you're going to make fun of your little brother? If you're no longer going to think of me as part of your family, then I'm going to do the same regarding you.
That would be the best outcome for all of us. I'm giving you one last chance to apologize to me, Carter. Do you really plan to continue what you're doing?
I don't care what you think anymore. And that's because I no longer think of you as part of my family.
Do you really think that you're in the position to be talking to me like that? You are far too saucy.
Wasn't it you, though, that told me I've never been like family to you first?
It doesn't matter that I don't view you as part of my family, but when you sit there acting all cruel towards me, that is something I will not forgive. You don't even have the right to say things like that to me.
You sure love to talk a lot of nonsense, don't you? But I'll have you know that it's not only me who doesn't view you as part of the family anymore.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Both your mom and dad have said to me that they no longer want to have any ties with you. And they said that they told you that as well. So did you already forget that or something?
Come on, that's just my dad joking around with me. However, when they hear what you said to me, they might seriously cut ties to you. Because unlike what they'll do to you, they've never ever kicked someone like me out of their family if they know what's good for them. I'm the one that graduated from a very esteemed university, and then went on to start my own business that's doing well. I'm an elite, as most would say. There's no merit in cutting ties to someone as amazing as me.
Well, I don't think your dad cares if there's merit to it or not now.
What are you saying? What does an outsider like you even know about my family, huh? My dad is a businessman himself, and that means he's always thinking about the merits to any choice he makes. Now how about you go ahead and use your head little there, sunshine?
To him, there are plenty of merits that he can see coming after you're gone.
Stop it with all of your lying, all right?
I'm not lying to you right now. I already heard from your dad everything I needed to know about his relation to you and what you've been doing. He's told me about how you use his name as a tool for helping you get around out in the business world. But because of that, he has had to be asked so many times now what is wrong with his daughter and why he allows you to do such things.
I am his daughter. That means I'm the one that gets to choose how I use his name or not.
And you have been abusing his name for far too long now. Anytime you go out there and cause issues, he's the one that has to take responsibility for them. You don't even know what the hell he's already had to go through because of your aimless actions. And that's why, once we've all cut ties to you, you won't be able to carry on with that bullcrap anymore. Your dad is tired of your nonsense and is going to end it all right here and now.
All of that is just your lies to try and get me to tuck my tail between my legs, right?
Not at all, because I've already been talking with your dad about you, and he's working on getting rid of you right now. And in the next couple of days, you will be hearing from his lawyer, I'm sure.
From his lawyer? I cannot believe this. He's really going to throw me out? So now you've gone and brainwashed my entire family in order to get me out of there? All of this is your doing.
I haven't even done anything yet. All of this is because you went and did the most stupid stuff an adult could do.
I'm going to make you regret ever coming into my family and talking to me like that. Dad, all of that crap about you wanting to cut ties with me is a lie, right? I just heard about this from that low-life runt bitch. Just get rid of that useless whore already, Dad.
None of what you heard from her was a joke. Like I told you before, you are never going to be seeing any of us ever again. And that means you don't ever contact your mother, you don't ever contact your brother, you don't ever contact Carter, and you don't ever contact me.
I get to decide who I want to contact whenever I want to, Dad.
Is that the reason why you've been messing around with all my colleagues then? Because of you always using my name as a way to get what you want, I've had to answer for your reckless actions. I hear that you used my name as a way to bail yourself out of trouble as well, acting as though I was the one asking you to do all those things.
I haven't been doing anything crazy, though. I've just been using your name so that I can get contracts of my own from people, and that's all.
And because of all that crap, you've gone and ruined pretty much every relation I've spent years making with all my contacts and colleagues.
Ugh, jeez. You are so freaking annoying, Dad. The Then how about you strengthen those relationships you have with those people so that they aren't so easily broken by me? Then you won't have to worry about losing any more people because of me. And that would bring me some merit as well.
You cut that BS out right now. I don't give a damn about what merit you receive or whatever the hell. People are not your tools to use.
What's going on with you? As a businesswoman myself, we should be putting merit before anything else. So that's how you run a successful company. You've been doing that all your life, right?
Sure, I'm a businessman, but I've told you over and over again I did not get this company to where it is now by backstabbing all the people I've worked with and tearing everyone else down. In this world, idiots that are not able to keep the bridges they formed with their clients and their colleagues up are those that are meant to fail.
You really love to preach, but it's freaking annoying.
Someone like yourself that's used both your company and the people around it to get money will no longer be a colleague of mine, even if you're my daughter. The reason we asked that Carter go ahead and make those chicken tenders and fries for all of us to eat was because it had meaning behind it. It showed us all not to take what we have now for granted, because at any moment, everything you have can go away, and you'll be right back at the bottom again, eating only that for your meals. It also held memories that we all shared of the family we built, as we went from being a poor family to a wealthy one. Yet now, you've gone and ruined all of it by saying that it was not enough for you, and that you can only live off fancy meals in a clean household. And now, not only myself, but your mother, your brother, and Carter all feel terrible because of what you said. As someone that cannot understand nor respect their family, you are no longer a part of us. That is why I've made my choice for what to do with you. I've told everyone around me to cut ties with you so that we no longer have to be used and abused. And that includes all of the customers and clients of yours that you've been messing with behind my back.
Huh? What the hell do you think you're doing? All of those are my very important customers. If all of them end their contracts with me, my company will... Are you saying you don't care about what happens to me anymore?
I told you from the very beginning when you were starting your very own company that it would be an uphill battle, and that if you really wanted to form a reliable business where you didn't have to worry about your income anymore, you had to form bonds with your own customers and keep those relations strong. But instead, you've been using my name to take people into falsely made contracts, which later led to me receiving the bad reputation. If you think you can get away with doing that to your own father of all people, then you go ahead and fight on your own now.
Dad, if you throw me out of your family right here and right now, you're going to regret it.
Like hell I will. The only asshole that's going to be regretting everything they've done will be you after I've had everyone cut ties to you. You're going to learn to hate your existence after never once heeding any of my warnings about this.
What the hell? Blaming me for absolutely nothing? This is all that bitch's fault. Her. I'm not going to let her get away with all of this.
How many goddamn times do I have to tell you to leave that poor woman the hell alone? Emmy, damn it!
No matter what it is, all of this is your fault. My mom and dad throwing me out of their family, all of my customers ending their contracts with me. Had you never came into the family like some diseased rat, none of this would have been happening to me.
No, I don't think that's true. I think all of this was going to happen to you eventually based on all you've done.
Speaking like you're my dad himself. Are you trying to make fun of me right now?
Who the hell are you talking about? You're the one that's been making fun of all of us. I've had enough of you always talking down to me about everything. All you are to me now is some stranger that I don't even need to play nice with anymore. Because that's all you ever thought of me this whole time. And what about your little brother? Does me being a stranger also make him a stranger too? Are you saying that this whole time Eden hasn't been like family to you?
Why the hell are you bringing up my brother's name right now?
So you don't even remember a damn thing. That day you came home to be around the three of us was your little brother's Memorial Day.
What? Is that right?
Don't you freaking dare tell me you only now just remember that. But you know what? I'm sure that's the case because to a freaking pile of crap like you, all you care about is yourself and not a single person else. I thought when you said you were coming back home after all these years, you were coming home to be around your little brother. You, the sister that can never even come to his funeral last year after he passed away suddenly, was no longer here. So of course you didn't even know it was your brother's memorial when you came back here. That's the whole reason I served everyone one of his favorite dishes, that being chicken tenders and french fries. Yet you went and told me off for doing such a thing and criticized his favorite food.
Hey, stop trying to make me seem like some useless human being. I just forgot that it was his memorial is all. This is the reason why I hate runs like you. Always whining about the past and always running their mouth in such a rude manner. I can see now that my mom, my dad, and everyone else in this family are not good enough for me. In the end, all of you are some real low-life runs. I guess the only family that's fit for me is my husband, Reese. As long as I have Reese with me, we can fix my company, and there won't be any issues at all.
Have you still not heard anything about him?
Huh? If you think you're going to get me to react to some kind of fake news about him, it's not going to work.
That wasn't going to be my plan. It's just, I thought that he would have already talked with you about it.
What the hell are you talking about? Hurry up and freaking tell me.
Reese told me that he's going to leave you now.
What a freaking lie.
Seems that he lost his love for you watching you as you went around doing whatever you wanted with your company without any care in the world. And after what you said and did to your own family this time, he said to us that he'd use this as his chance to get away. He said to both your parents and me that if she was treating her own family like you've been, that someday he might be next.
What? What did you say? I can't even believe that. Are you really saying that my husband is going to throw myself and my company away? Does he really think he can go out and find a job for himself now?
You don't have to worry about him finding another job or not.
What?
Reese happens to be completely different from you, Emmy, and is seen as someone a lot of people can respect. Your dad even realizes that, and said that he'd be hiring him into his company now once he's left yours. It also sounded like Reese has some ideas for a company of his own that he'd like to start. So your dad will be supporting him with that financially from here on out.
What the hell are you? I've already lost all of my customers, and all of my family is cutting ties to me for good. And now my husband is going to throw me aside like the rest of you?
The one that threw all of their family away first was you, Emmy.
This was supposed to be the time where I began to expand my company even further. If all of these things really happen to me, then I'm going to be forced to live on my own? Hey, please, Carter, go and talk with my dad right now and get him to stop thinking about cutting me out of the family. Or can you at least ask him to get me some more customers?
You already know something like that is going to be impossible for us to do now.
No way it is.
You told me before that it had not been for me marrying to your brother, I would have stayed a low-life runt for the rest of my life, right? I don't doubt that at all. But the same thing applies to you, Emmy. Had you never had a dad like yours, you would have never been able to do anything because you are so useless.
What?
And now that's all I have left really to say. So from now on, please listen to what everyone has said and stop talking to me.
Oh, wait a second. Please, talk to my dad, at least for me. Carter? Carter!
Carter, Emmy really did a lot of terrible things this time.
I've told you plenty of times before that no matter what she's done to me, it is not your fault. My sister-in-law, no wait, Emmy and I are no longer a family, which means you really don't have to worry about things anymore. I sure don't care anymore, and this time I'm telling you, she won't be able to bother me anymore. Now as for you helping to defend me throughout all of this, thank you so much.
Both my wife and I promised you after our son passed away that we'd still be here to protect you and make you feel at home. And the same applies for the rest of our time on this earth.
Thank you, Hank.
I had a word with my wife about some things last night. Would you mind if perhaps my wife and I were to adopt you?
What? You're asking me if I'd like to become your child?
I'm not going to say that the idea of such a thing is impossible. After all, ever since our little boy went to heaven, my wife and I have been having you live with us, and you've been taking such great care of our needs. So we like to think that you're more than just our daughter-in-law, but our true daughter. So we thought if you were willing to do so, we'd love to legally adopt you and make you ours. Please let me know if I'm troubling you by saying this.
What you've said makes me so happy. I myself have seen both your and your wife as my real family. So if you really have me as your daughter, then I look forward to being a true member of this family, Dad. After having been abandoned by her own husband, Emmy was left by herself to try and carry the weight of her company. She made attempts to still use her dad's name in order to get new customers, but a lot of them already heard about what she'd done from Hank, and they didn't even give her a chance. But that did not stop her from fighting on, as she would reach further and further out, trying to find customers that she could work with. And although she tried and tried to keep things going, the company was performing worse and worse. And soon, she had to start cutting some of her employees' pay, as well as asking them to stay home from work as not to take any more of her money. But her frustration began to increase. She'd start taking it all out on her employees through workplace harassment, which would leave her in masses until there was nobody left working for her. And by the time she had realized that there was no hope at all for her company, the Bakes contacted her and she was forced to file for bankruptcy. Those employees of hers that she mistreated before her company collapsed would come to bite her in the butt soon after, asking for settlements because of what she'd done. And they all made it very clear to her that if she didn't settle with them there, they'd take her to court and make things even worse for her. I heard that in order to settle with all of her ex-employees that she'd harassed, she had to borrow some major money, which she now had to start paying off every month. And after all that has taken place, Emmy made an attempt to go out and start looking for work as a simple office worker. But due to her past of always talking down to everyone and using her dad's name, no company in the area would hire her. This soon led to her losing her place that she'd been living at, and with no house and no money left to her name, Emmy packed what she could carry on her and left town to find work somewhere else far from here. The last thing I heard about her is that she ended up in a much larger city down south, and has been working as a prostitute there, trying to make whatever she can to afford that city's much higher living cost. As for what's happened with me, in light of now being a true part of my late husband's family, I am now studying up on the company Hank runs and helping him little by little with it. Things have been going really well with the family after that mess, and always being busy with everything has become really fun for me. It seems that to Hank, teaching me about his company and how to manage it is really enjoyable for him, and at times he's even telling me that I could be the next CEO of his company if I really wanted to. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.